What is up, everyone? James Baek here, and welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. I have been kind of busy for the past few days, so I haven't actually had time to build a new team. So I grabbed one from the Pokemon Global Link. I played around a few games with it, and it's pretty interesting. It's not exactly my playstyle. We're actually using quite a bit of a, I would consider more of a hyper-offensive team, which just focuses on getting knockouts. It doesn't exactly have the greatest amount of bulk or switching potential, but it's got a lot of power, and it forces opponents to play really cautiously around this team because it has so much damage potential. We got the Golduck Pelipper, Tapu Lele, Metagross, Tapu Koko, and Raichu. I'm not that great with hyper offense teams, to be honest. I kind of like a balance overall. I feel like those are the teams I play the best with, but it should be interesting. So we're gonna get started. Have been pretty busy, as I said, for the past few days. Haven't been able to get new mons or anything, so... And I was actually going to be using a hyper offense team anyway, so we'll be using this for the next couple of episodes. It's a pretty interesting team. Yeah, so... I can't believe that next week is actually my last full week of school, which is kind of insane if you think about it. I'm graduating high school, which probably isn't that big, to be honest. In my opinion, I don't think it's that big. But it's just been, wow, it's like, time goes by fast. Like, it really does. I feel like 2017 just started like a month ago. We're already like halfway into, well, almost halfway into 2017, which is kind of insane. As we find someone from France with 1500 rating to kick things off. No item Garchomp and Tapu Koko, but, you know, viable team. Has items on most of them on, so I'm going to take it. We got a Kartana, Milotic, Muck, Arcanine, Garchomp, and Tapu Koko. So, how do I want to play against this team? Rain looks pretty good against my opponent's team. The Kartana item is just what's, kind of making me unsure of whether I should go that route, because honestly, in my opinion, I think Koko Raichu might be the most solid play here. I really think it is, and I'll have Pelipper and Golduck in the back. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Ironically, when I was playing around this team, I found that I was usually just bringing these four. I never really needed the top lane Metagross, but I think that's for more like Porygon 2 teams, which I do understand. Although I really love the Specs Koko, because Specs Koko with Electro Ball, with the Electric Terrain, plus Stab, plus the Specs. It's a 150 base power move on most Trick Room mons and very slow mons like Snorlax, Muck. It can pick up a lot of KOs. It has so much damage output that is quite insane. So I'm hoping we get to throw off an Electro Ball or two today in today's episode. But let's see how this is going to go. At least I'm hoping this is the right episode number. I'm pretty sure we finished the Machamp team, if I'm counting right. We got Tapu Koko Raichu as our lead. Let's see what my opponent brings out. It is the Garchomp and Tapu Koko. So, okay. Okay. Since the Garchomp has no item, I don't really have to worry about it. Tapu Koko can't knock out any one of my Pokemon. Unless it's U-turn Tapu Koko that can knock out my Raichu, I guess. But... I mean, I don't see a reason not to just throw off a Dazzling Gleam here that's Specs, plus a Psychic into the Garchomp. I really don't see a reason to. I'm hoping it's not a random U-turn Tapu Koko. That's not very common in VGC. Of course, it does make sense in other metas such as singles, because U-turn you're able to bypass like ground-type Pokemon such as Landisfarian and Garchomp, for instance. But usually in VGC, you don't really need U-turn, and you kind of have a move for Protect. So that Psychic does a good amount. Specs Dazzling Gleam should finish the job as Garchomp goes down. And that did 60% to Tapu Koko. Beautiful. Oh, my computer's actually dying. Is that double team? Oh, that's Agility. Okay. Is this Agility Electro Ball? So that probably means he's faster than my Raichu now. Muck is going to come out. I think this is Electric Terrain boosted. I'm actually just going to go for my Z move. Or maybe I should just Dazzling Gleam Protect. You know what? I'm going to Dazzling Gleam Protect. I think it's the safer call overall. I get to put Muck in potential range for my Z move from Raichu, so I feel like this is the best play. My opponent's gonna keep going for agility. What's the point? You're just gonna get knocked out to a Dazzling Gleam. Okay. So Dazzling Gleam gonna finish out the Tapu Koko. I mean, agility was cool, but you didn't abuse anything of it. Poison Jab gonna come out, target on the Tapu Koko. I don't care. This picks up the knockout, to be honest, which it does. Okay. I get to bring in my Pelipper now, and it's already a 3v2 situation, so I don't feel bad about the position at all. And my opponent doesn't exactly have a switch in to this Raichu, and Arcanine's going to come out, which, you know, against my rain mode, I should be pretty much set. So all I need is to get rid of this Muck, and I do have the answer to Muck with my Z move from my Raichu, which should pick up the knockout, to be honest, at this range. Unless Muck protects here. But even if he protects, like, I have Encore on both Raichu and Golduck, so if he KOs my Raichu with Arcanine somehow, I get to Encore Muck anyway, no matter what circumstances arise. And this Arcanine still has to take a Scald. Pelipper won't be going down to any attack thanks to its Focus Sash. So I'm in a very solid position to just win this game right here. Not sure if my opponent has Protect or not, but we'll see. We'll see. Scald won't knock out a bulky Arcanine, but will KO a frail Arcanine or offensive Arcanine. So let's see what my opponent has. No Protect is going to come out, so we're actually going to see the Raichu's Z move right here. I always mess up this name. Spark Stoke Surfer, I believe? Or Stoked Spark Surfer, it's one of the two. Stoked Spark Surfer, okay. And this always makes the game lag. It always just makes the game lag on the regular 3DS. So, this is Electric Terrain boosted. This should pick up the KO on Muck. Yes, so Muck goes down. Nice Raichu just soaring up, KOing this Muck. And this... Okay, Arcanine's going to go for Snarl, but... I mean... It's an Arcanine versus Rain plus the Raichu at this point. I don't see a way my opponent can win. Scald is going to come out, and this should still do a good amount of damage. Wow, that still does a lot. Luckily, no berry range for my opponent, but Thunderbolt should be able to pick up the KO on Arcanine. I don't think that's Assault Vest, and I should be able to win the game no matter what with a Thunderbolt and Scald. There's no way my opponent can win. Yeah. So we're going to be taking the first game. Very interesting play. I still don't get the point of going for the second agility. I mean, my opponent did KO my Tapu Koko with the Muck. Turn 2, which was pretty, you know, pretty solid. But otherwise, yeah. But it's not like I can really switch with this team. Like, this team doesn't exactly have many switch-ins. So I'm actually going to get my computer charger, and I will see you right back for the next battle. And we're back, and I think it's time to tell one of my fun stories behind the camera. So one time, actually, I didn't have my computer plugged in, and I didn't notice my computer was actually dying. So I ended up recording an entire episode, and then after recording that episode, I look over to my computer and find it dead, so I lost that recording. Oh, man. I feel like if you have done like YouTube before, you probably know this mistake by now, or like something similar to it, like you don't press the record button, which I definitely haven't in the past. So yeah. Okay, let's see if we can find another battle. Let's maybe one more that's a bit more serious and challenging. But yeah, still trying to learn this team because there's just so much damage output, and like Hyper Offense, you don't have to think as much, in my opinion. Well, you still have to think, but it's not like, okay, I don't have to really switch out as much. It's more like, where do I put my which slot do I target my attacks with? Because sometimes you can lose momentum by losing Pokemon. That's how you usually lose momentum VGC. But this case especially, since losing one Montu, since, oh man, why are we facing 1468 rated player from Japan? What's with these low ratings? But we, okay, items this time. Solid team. I don't get what's wrong with it. Okay. So it could be Scarf Garchomp this time. I'm gonna go Pelipper Golduck with Raichu Tapu Koko in the back. Don't see a reason not to, so I am going to go for it. I just never really find many games where I want to bring Tapu Lele and Metagross, but they have been pretty helpful in the past. Versus like, I don't know, it's like versus Porygon 2, just teams that are, and Hail. Like, Tapu Lele and Metagross has actually been very helpful against Hail. But otherwise not as helpful. Let's see if we can pick up a victory against, I don't know, this team does look solid. I can't underestimate my opponent, even though I think that would be an average of losing about 3 to 4 games, that rating. So let's see. Pelipper Golduck will take the field. Let's see what my opponent brings out. Tapu Lele Muck, okay. So this is pretty good, considering I could go for the knockout on Tapu Lele right here, and I can weaken the Muck and put in Electro Ball range from the Tapu Koko. Is this the game where I'm going to be clicking the Electro Ball? That would be sweet. I was going to say clean, but I don't think it works there. Yeah, so I'm just going to fire off a Scald in the Muck. I have 30% chance to burn. I could go for Hurricane, which does more damage, but I think I would prefer burn more than Confusion. Mathematically, it's the same. Well, a burn Muck would put more residual damage. Yeah, Confusion would allow the Muck to be immobilized, but I think Scald's better. And Muck is actually going to protect. And I always click Hydro Vortex against Lele. Always click it, because Tapu Lele is a Pokemon that can actually knock out one of my Pokemon, especially the Golduck, so I will go for the Hydro Vortex. Please don't tell me you're like one of those random Sash Leles you face on Showdown, which I still don't understand the point of Sash Lele, to be honest. Let's see. Hydro Vortex. Gonna come out onto the Tapu Lele, and is this a knockout? It is a knockout. So Tapu Lele will be going down this turn, and I can Encore the Muck the following turn, so I'm in a very solid position right here. I might not want to Encore depending on what comes in. Maybe Kartana comes out. I could definitely see Kartana coming out, which it is Kartana actually. And I will just go for the Hurricane and protect my Golduck. Yeah, don't see a reason not to. Because Pelipper will be able to survive a Kartana's attack unless it's a double up. And even if Pelipper goes down, I get a free switch into my Koko or my Raichu. So we're going to see the Leaf Blade come out into the Golduck. We get a Hurricane off, which should knock out the Kartana if it's not like a Focus Sash or AV. It is Focus Sash, okay. Toxic command from Muck. Ooh. That's interesting. I haven't seen that since the beginning of the format, to be honest. I mean, Toxic Muck isn't that bad. It helps against Porygon 2. Even though you can knock off its Violet, I think Toxic Muck is decently viable. So I will go for Scald into Muck here, and I'll just go for an Ice Beam into the Kartana. I will never click Hydro Pump against a target I don't have to, unless I really have to call like a switch or something. So the attack is going to come out from Kartana, which is fine because I could Encore that slot if I really want to, and I might, depending on what I get on this Muck. Ooh, that does almost 50%, and we snag the burn. Nice. As we see the Gunk Shot actually be firing off into the Golduck, which isn't going to do much. Yeah. 33%. No poison. Fortunate. Okay, now it's a question of the Muck is burned on the field. It has its berry. My rain turns are being wasted out though, so I don't feel like going for Encore is the best play here. The Muck isn't really threatening much anyway. What does my opponent have in the back? Could be Garchomp, yet I outspeed it anyway. I don't have to go for Tailwind this turn, I think. I could just Hurricane the Muck and go for an Ice Beam. Sure, Arcanine could come in, but I could always Hydro Pump the following turn. So we are going to see the Kartana withdraw. I'm guessing that means Arcanine. Oh, Celesteela. Okay, that's fine. And actually, once I get rid of this Muck, I should just win with Tapu Koko Raichu. There's no way my opponent can beat that combo at this point of the game. Especially with the Burn Muck, that is going to be weakened by this Hurricane. So Hurricane going to do about the same amount. We get the Confusion too, so very nice. 30% chance is rock. Let's see. Does hit itself, so that's unfortunate for my opponent because that does put him in my Hurricane range. I kind of want my opponent to hurry up and knock out both my Pokemon, to be honest. I just want the free switch-ins at this point. So yeah, I'll just get rid of this Muck here. No, just Hydro Pump to Celesteela, because why not? Hydro Pump's going to do a lot of damage to Celesteela anyway. Again, I don't need these mons. I could just keep firing off attacks until I get my free switch in. Unless it's Autonomize Celesteela. I guess maybe I didn't consider that, but even if it's Autonomize, right, you still outspeeds in the electric terrain, so we are good. As we're actually just going to see Elite Seed into the Golduck slot. Okay. Rain should stop now, yep. So, I could have Tailwinded because now I would be able to outspeed the Kartana if I went for like Hydro Pump into Muk connected and then could have went for a Tailwind. But again, I don't need these mons. All I need to do is get my Koko plus Raichu in safely and I win the game. And this might be a turn where he goes for 2 attacks and is able to pick a double knockout. So I do not mind this position at all. Kartana is going to come out here. I will just fire off a Scald and Ice Beam and a Kartana, to be honest. As I've said before in the past, I do not need these mons. These mons can go. I just need to get my Koko or Raichu out on the field and they will win me the game. Leaf Blade gonna come out, target down the Pelipper, so I think Golduck's gonna live the turn, but I guess it doesn't matter. Mathematically it's still the same because I'm able to knock out Kartana and then I'm just able to bring out Koko and just go for... I really want to click Electro Ball, so I think I'm going to click Electro Ball. As the Kartana is going to go down. Okay, Kartana does go down. Heavy Slam is going to come out, but I don't think Heavy Slam plus Leech Seed will KO Golduck. Yeah. And just get Tapu Koko in and win the game. So we might actually be doing 4 battles in this episode, depending on how long the next one is. Since the first 2 weren't as exciting. I mean, this person did play well, I think. But yeah, I think it's just the nature of Hyper Offense. You can really win games easily, or you could have a really bad loss. I feel like no matter what you're playing with Hyper Offense, you're going to be playing... Well, you're just going to have like a very fast time playing it. You're either going to win fast or you're going to lose fast. Nobody really stalls out Hyper Offense because obviously Hyper Offense can just sweep through teams. So you need to get rid of mons as quickly as possible. You can't really risk wearing them down when they can just do a lot of damage to you. So, yep. So we should be having a lot of quick games with this team. We might even have like 4 battles per episode, which is kind of insane. But I think we might actually be able to because of how the nature of these teams are. Just very fast, very frail. And a lot of damage output. So let's find another battle. But yeah, so it feels weird. Because, okay, so Koko Raichu was actually something I used really early back in the format. But ironically, I didn't really use it as a combo. I had Koko, which was an AB set, so it was less offensive, obviously. Because I really loved AB Koko in the beginning of the format. And then I had Raichu because I wanted fake out support for my Garchomp, which was also pretty fast and helped against threats to my team like Celesteela. Helped against Kartana since it could outspeed it. Feeny was a bit annoying. So we're going to face Mina with a QR code team of Marcus Saturd's team. So we got Arcanine, Persian, Tapu Fini, Kartana, Snorlax, and the Tapu Koko. To be honest, I'm feeling completely fine against this team. This team doesn't have much for Tapu Koko plus Raichu. And I guess the question is, do I want Lele plus Metagross, which I think is actually very solid against my opponent's team, or I could go like I could go Pelipper Golduck again, but Pelipper Golduck is getting kind of boring. So let's try out some new things. Tapu Lele and Metagross sounds a bit more fun. Why not? It is Scarf Kartana, so I don't really have to worry much about Kartana as I would about other mons. The Tapu Fini is going to be annoying, though. The Terrain War is going to be a bit annoying. But Raichu benefits with both of my terrains up, so not really too bad here. We'll see what my opponent brings out as a lead potential. But I can just get a very free Volt Switch against my opponent's team. And I do have Fake Out for a lead. So I feel pretty good about my position. Let's see what my opponent leads. Persian Kartana, okay, kind of what I expected, to be honest, as I will lead my Koko plus Raichu. I don't think you fake out a Raichu. I don't know what my opponent goes for, to be honest, but I think I can just click Specs Dazzling Gleam here. Because if he goes for fake out, it doesn't matter. I get a huge... oh, I don't have fake out. I mean, yeah, I don't have fake out. Oh, is it just... Okay, I wonder if my opponent knows this team. Maybe it's better just to go for this... For the Z move. Onto Kartana. Actually, I think it's worth it. Because getting rid of Kartana would be really helpful for my team in general. We're going to see the fake out. Target down Coco. Okay, that's great. Because, okay, I was assuming you would fake out Coco because there's no sane person who fakes out a Raichu because they tend to carry fake out. And I could always encore the Persian next turn, which is extremely nice as well. So, I'm hoping the Z-move KOs. It's electric terrain boosted. Raichu, Kartana's special defense is just so low. Raichu, can you do me a favor and knock out this Kartana? We also get the paralysis effect if it doesn't KO. Oh, we don't get the KO. We do get the paralysis, which is nice. And, ooh, we actually get the full paralysis. Very unfortunate for my opponent, but we take those. I'm pretty sure he was going to go for a Leaf Blade onto Raichu there and try to pick up a KO. Very unfortunate. I will just go for... I think I'll... okay, I think Thunderbolt is the best play and the Dazzling Gleam, because he's probably just going to switch out Persian, I would assume. Yeah, Persian's going to withdraw, so I didn't want to waste a turn going for Encore. Feeney's going to come out, which is great, because I get a free Thunderbolt off into that Tapu Fini. That's going to do a lot of damage, so I do not mind this trade at all. As I will get a Thunderbolt off into Fini. This should do 60%. 70, nice. Dazzling Gleam is going to come out, finish off this Kartana, as well as do a lot to this Fini. It specs. Almost picks up the knock on Tapu Fini. And I don't believe there was a berry on this Fini. Oh, there is a berry. Okay. Not really mattering because it's still in Thunderbolt range, no matter what. And I guess I could go out into my Tapu Lele the following turn, since I do have... I'm actually surprised my opponent went for Fake Out now that I think about it, because I did have Tapu Lele as a switch-in. Snorlax is going to come out, which I don't really mind. I'm pretty sure I just went with Tapu Koko. And Metagross, to be honest. I think I'm going to switch into Lele here and get a Terrain. And... I'm not really worried about Fini. Like, the Fini's damage output is very little. I'm pretty sure Fini's just going to protect him. We're going to see a high horsepower from Snorlax anyway. If he curses up or sets up, I will just be able to encore anyway. So I'm going to go into Lele and get this Psychic off onto Snorlax, which should put it in range of the Electro Ball specs from my Koko otherwise. So Psychic going to go out into the Snorlax. Oh my lord. Oh, that's a crit. Okay. That's not what I wanted, to be honest, though. That crit actually hurts me because now he's back at decent HP. Moonblast is going to come out. I'm guessing targeting on my Tapu Koko. Oh, Raichu. Interesting. And high horsepower is going to target down the Tapu Lele slot, actually. Okay. So not exactly what I was expecting, but I'll take it, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Moonblast the Snorlax here, and I'm actually going to fire off a Thunderbolt into the Tapu Fini, because Snorlax is threatened by 2 Psychic moves, so he might want to switch out into Persian. Yeah. So Snorlax is going to switch out into Persian. He or she, my bad. As Persian's going to come out, I just get a Thunderbolt off on the Tapu Fini though, which is going to pick up the KO on Tapu Fini as we saw earlier. And then the Moonblast is going to be able to pick up the knockout on Persian. That's switching it to Life Orb Moonblast. So, unless you're like Sash or AV, I don't think you're living. Yep, Persian does go down. And Snorlax is left to defend the world. Already ate berry, so it has to recycle in order to get that berry back. But I'm not sure if it can live the Life Orb Psychic plus this Raichu Psychic boost into Psychic Terrain. So, and I could always just taunt Snorlax, but I don't feel like I need to because I'll be just doing so much more damage output than what he'll be recovering with a berry, even if he goes for Recycle. And I still have my Specs Coco in the back. So let's see if we can actually pick up the knockout on Snorlax with this Terrain boosted. I really didn't need the crit earlier to win the game. But, oh, it actually just barely is. Interesting. And high horsepower is going to go and target down the Raichu slot. So Raichu's going to go down. And I finally think I'm going to be able to click Specs Electro Ball, because I really want to just click Specs Electro Ball. It's too bad we didn't get to find the damage output though. Just hard in the Tapu Koko. I click Electro Ball. And too bad we don't get to see how much Electro Ball does to Snorlax, because it does so much damage. Like, Electro Ball is actually an insane move. It's actually an insane move. We go for Electro Ball right here into the Snorlax. So Electro Ball is gonna come out, and unfortunately, we're only good. This is overkill. This is overkill. This is overkill. But Snorlax does go down, and we will be taking 3 wins so far in today's episode. Let's go for a 4th battle and see if we can pick up 4 wins in today's episode. This team, again, as I said, very quick battles. 3 battles in about 24-25 minutes. That's very fast. This team does play very fast. And it's like you can win instantly or you can lose instantly. And of course, obviously, if I did go for the Psychic into that Persian slot when it did switch in, instead of predicting and going for the Moonblast, he could have actually had a chance to come back with his Persian, because he would have had actually wait, would he? Well, I guess he could have foul play, knocked out my Raichu, maybe Parting Shot, I don't know. But he had a chance. He would have at least had Persian. So he would have had 1 more Mon than what he had the previous turns. So I feel like I'm really mixing my words today. I feel like it's just because I'm tired. I did take my first final today, and I feel like it went pretty well. So I'm hoping it is a decently well grade, because I would like to finish off the year with like a strong finish. So let's see if we can find this next game as quick as we finish the other games. Sometimes it feels like we can finish games quicker than we can actually find them. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully. But yeah, I don't think I have much to say. Oh yeah, E3. E3. This was something I wanted to talk about. E3 is coming up in, I believe, 2 weeks. If I am correct. E3 is coming out in 2 weeks. What are some of your like wishful announcements? Because me, hopefully, I really want Switch announcements. I've heard there's been a lot of rumors about like a Smash port for the Switch, or I think there was a Pokken rumor. I haven't found it though, but people on Twitter have told me there is a Pokken rumor. So I want to know what you people want. I really want like some good games coming out for the Switch. I really think the Switch has potential. I want like Ace Attorney, Mystery Dungeon. I want those games coming back. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Maybe Fire Emblem in the future. We got Tapu Koko, Marowak, Wishy-Washy, Oranguru, Kartana, and Garchomp. So I think this looks very familiar to some of us. I can't lead Koko Raichu. It's not that good here in this matchup. I think Pelipper Golduck is better. And ironically, I don't feel like it's the most... I think having Tapu Lele plus Metagross in the back is more helpful. Because, yes, Koko Raichu could do a lot of work in the back. I'm just not feeling it against this team. I feel like my judgment would be having the... Tapu Lele Metagross helps against a potential Trick Room mode, which I think my opponent is going to desperately want. Yep, we're going to see Oranguru plus Wishy-Washy come out, which I do not mind. I don't know if Oranguru can live a Hydro Vortex boosted. I think it can, to be honest. If it can, that's actually a bit troublesome. Because I might actually lose this game if the Hydro Vortex doesn't KO. If it goes for Protect, that's a different story, but I think I'm going to double up the Oranguru. I don't know what Wishy-Washy can do. I know it gets Surf and Ice Beam and Rock Slide. I just don't know what it can do otherwise. Hydro Vortex plus Hurricane. I'm hoping it's enough to pick up the knock on Oranguru, or maybe we can get the Confusion. Wow, that was weird. The game like actually lagged right there. Hopefully it's not like disconnection issues or something. We're going to see Wishy-Washy withdraw actually into Tapu Koko. Okay, that's interesting. Are we going to see a Protect from Oranguru? I was actually thinking of Hurricane the Tapu Koko slot. Yeah, we actually do see that Protect. Okay, wow. So I think my opponent's trying to get me... Okay, I see what my opponent's trying to do. He's trying to set me up for... Okay, so he's got his Oranguru and Tapu Koko in, and I wasted my Z move here. I have to choose between either knocking out the Tapu Koko, getting rid of it, or I have to choose Trick Room getting up. And Trick Room up with Rain and a Wishy-Washy is very scary for the back 2 Pokemon I have. So I think I'm going to try Deny Trick Room with the Encore from my Golduck. So I'm gonna Encore this. I should have Hurricaned. I should have Scalded the other slot, but Hurricane was a better choice. I think I can just Tailwind though. Tailwind's very safe here, and I think I will just go for an Encore into Oranguru. Seems very safe to me. Hopefully Oranguru doesn't switch out. Kartana would be very bad. Okay, stays in. Oh wait, they carry Mental Herb. I forgot the option for Mental Herb. Oh, no Mental Herb, but Discharge instead. Oh, this could be really bad if he went for an... Actually, no, he's locked into Protect. Okay. Don't get the para. No para. Nice. As we did get the Tailwind up. Very nice. And Oranguru is locked into Protect. Fails. He's going to be able to get it next turn. I'm going to send out my Tapu Lele and get this Life Orb Psychic boosted Psychic into this Tapu Koko. And I am going to try to pick up as many knockouts as I can before Oranguru gets a chance to Trick Room. I think I'm actually going to Hurricane the Oranguru, even though the Protect is obvious. Like, I could definitely see him switching out and protecting here. So, Hurricanes is the best play. Psychic's the best play, no matter what. I could double him in Oranguru, but that's kind of risky. I feel like tarring down Koko is just very safe overall. We're going to see the switch out into Wishy-Washy. Okay, that's a bit scary, to be honest, but depends on the set. Hopefully Hurricane does a good amount of damage too. Let's see, a Tapu Koko protects. Ah, that was so obvious. That was so obvious. But it's not Mental Herb on the Oranguru. So I can't go for Taunt. So I'm probably going to have to get rid of this Wishy-Washy first. Hurricane into the Wishy-Washy. Ooh, we get the Confusion. I still think I want to Psychic the Wishy-Washy slot no matter what though. I think I'll Hurricane the Tapu Koko slot and just go for a Psychic in the Wishy-Washy. Wishy-Washy is a big threat to my Metagross because of the rain boosted attacks it can go for. We're going to see Tapu Koko withdraw. Maybe a Oranguru? Yep. Okay, that's a fair play. And I'm guessing Wishy-Washy is going to try to protect here. Yeah. Makes sense. He's trying to get me to... He's trying to get a Trick Room up. He does go for the Protect, so I could have went for the... I guess I could have went for a Psychic into Oranguru, but it wouldn't have done too much anyway. Oranguru's a decently bulky mod, and I'm pretty sure that means he has bulk in that Oranguru. Hurricane does a lot, though. It's not Citrus Berry, though, so I will be able to knock him out with another Hurricane. And Psychic should knock out Wishy-Washy and would knock out Tapu Koko if it decides to switch in. So I'm in very good shape no matter what. He's just letting me weaken his team. And that's pretty nice because it's hard to switch around against Hyper Offense because these attacks, they really hurt and they add up. So, yeah, double KO right here. Psychic into the Wishy-Washy will pick up the knockout onto that Wishy-Washy slot. As, let's see what my opponent's going to go for. Well, but Kartana in the end game is very hard to deal with. But I couldn't let Wishy-Washy get another move, and I couldn't let Oranguru get Trick Him up. Maybe Marowak's in the back, which kind of makes sense for how my opponent's been playing these last few turns. If Marowak is in the back, I think Banded Metagross wins as long as my opponent doesn't get a full para with Thunderbolt. Yeah, it is Marowak. Okay, so I see why my opponent was so adamant about getting that Trick Room up. Tapu Koko gonna come out. Actually, what's funny is my opponent can't go for electric type moves. He's forced to go for a fairy type move because of Marowak's lightning rod ability. So I will go for a wide guard here. Wide guard actually going to be coming in clutch this battle. And I will just go for a Psychic into Marowak and weaken it from my Metagross to click Banded Earthquake. So let's see what my opponent goes for. I will wide guard here. I don't think a single target move on Koko. Oh, Discharge actually. So nice. We actually that wide guard coming in very clutch here. As we will get a Psychic off into Marowak. The Lightning Rod boost doesn't matter unless you have Ice Beam for some reason. Gonna get a Psychic off. It's a Life Orb boosted, so it should do a decent amount. Yep, that's definitely Earthquake range no matter what. And Shadow Bone's gonna come out. Finish off my Tapu Lele, but again, I set it up for the end as my Metagross is gonna come out. And I don't think my opponent can actually touch my Metagross. I think if my opponent has any chance, this Tapu Koko has to protect here, sack the Marowak, and then hope you can do something with the Tapu Koko that can knock out my Metagross in one shot. But you have to live the Banded Earthquake first, and that's not something that I don't think the Tapu Koko can. I mean, Banded Earthquake, this is Metagross. Metagross has a decently high attack stat. So let's see if we can let Bandit Earthquake. It is, I think this is Adamant Bandit Earthquake, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Marowak's gonna protect, which is not the call here. Because I don't think, unless he actually has a way to break Pelipper. So let's see. Or he might be like choice locked into it. No, the Tapu Koko went for protect the following turn, I believe. So we get Bandit Earthquake off, and this will finish off the Tapu Koko. At least it should, unless it's Focus Sash. So let's see if Tapu Koko is carrying that Focus Sash item. Nope, and that is going to be the game. I can just click Scald and Earthquake, and there's no way for my opponent to win. Pelipper is definitely going to be faster than Marowak. I don't think max speed Marowak can even outspeed Pelipper, so we should be good. So click Scald, click Earthquake, we win the game no matter what, and we are going to pick up 4 wins in today's episode. Not bad for this team at all. Very different from what I usually play, but it's kind of a nice new feeling. I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. It shows your support, as well as if you have a question or a comment you want to leave, feel free to down below. As well as if you missed any previous episodes of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles, down below as well. And yeah, you can check out my social medias and stuff. I will see you around in another video.